everyone, and welcome to day 6. And this is the second last day of Kaggle's machine learning challenge, the 30 days ML challenge. So today we are going to discover strings and dictionaries. Now we have done a lot of work with strings already. I also showed you what are the different functions that you can apply to strings. So strings are also like lists. They can be indexed per character. So today we are going to see in a little bit more detail what strings and dictionaries are. So let me copy this. And here we are. So now let's try defining a string. So we have mostly done one word strings, but here it's many different words, multiple words and multiple characters. There's some spaces and everything. So here, one thing that you see that here we have defined strings with single quotes, and here we have defined strings, the same string with double quotes. So yeah, you can define strings with single quotes or double quotes. You can also define them in a different way. I will show you just now. So let's run this. And here what we did is defined a string with single quotes, we defined the same string with double quotes, and we tried to check if the first string is same as the second one. And it is indeed. So you can define with both single strings or single quotes or double quotes. Another way of defining the string is, let's create another one with 3 quotes. So now you have seen that in Python we define comments either starting with a hash. If it's a one-line comment, if it's a multi-line comment, we define it with a with 3 quotes. So it can be double quotes, it can be single quotes again. So here if I write Pluto is a planet, and then we check z equal to y, it also gives you true. So this is also one way of writing strings, and in this way it can be multi-line. So here I can say not anymore. Now it's a different string. So if I print z of z, it prints it like this. So here I pressed enter. So this goes in a new line, and that's why you see it in a new line. Now, if I have to use apostrophe sign inside a string, what I can do is I can enclose the string with double quotes and use a single apostrophe inside. Or I can do the other way around. So like here, I start and end my string with single quotes, and inside that I have Pluto in double quotes. So it's going to print like this. So here you have this single one, which is showing here, and here you have double ones which are showing here. But if you do like this, so if I use double quotes for everything, and even for enclosing Pluto in double quotes, is going to throw an error. It's not a valid syntax anymore because it doesn't know where the string begins and where the string ends and what Pluto is. So now Pluto is treated as a variable. So to avoid that, what we can do is use escape characters. And one escape character is backslash. So if I just add a backslash before the inside quotes, it's going to print fine. So this is also another way of writing strings or printing strings in Python. So here they have shown the same thing. Yeah, it gives you invalid syntax, but when you add a escape character, it's fine. So now it says that this table that you can see here is Um, some important uses of backslash character, which is the escape character. So if you write it like this, you will get this. So this is another kind of quote. And so this is single quote, this is double quote, and this is two backslashes, means it's going to print one backslash. And then you have slash n. So slash n is new line. Okay, it's not very visible here, so I'm just going to show you what it means. So if you write what's up, so let's write it in single quotes, and now we get what's up. So this slash says, okay, there is escape here, so it prints this quote. And same you can do with double quotes. So like if I write it like this, it's now going to print a double quote here. And then you can do like, okay, something like another backslash and a quote, then it's like this. Also what we can do is we can use two backslashes. I think it's better to print this. So I will just add a print function, and now it gives you a single backslash. Okay, if I add three of them, I get two backslashes. So this is how escape characters work. If you want to add a new line, you can do slash n. So now s and up will be in the new line. If you want to add a tab, you can do slash t. And that's what has been mentioned here. So like they added slash n to a string hello world, and now it's two different strings. So if I add a space here, there will be a space in the beginning. Okay, the triple quoted hello, I have already mentioned this before. So now you have hello world, two different lines, and here I have already changed it. So now this string here and this one here is the same. That's why you have the true. So it says that Python function automatically adds a new line character unless we specify a value for keyword argument end. So this is also something that you have already seen. There is a keyword argument end. So if when you print something, it adds a new line character. But if you specify end, and then here you can specify what you want. You can want a tab or a dot or nothing. So it prints like this. So see, like hello and Pluto are printed in the same line. So even if I remove this here, it's going to be the same. So it adds a slash n after Pluto. So if I do XYZ, now that's a new line. So strings are sequences. You can use for loop on strings. So it will go through each and every character. Space is a character. Every white space is a character. So if you write planet equal to Pluto and then index the first element, what is it going to give you? It's going to give you capital P. Similarly, you can add slicing. So the functions of the lists that we studied yesterday, you can apply here in strings. And if you calculate the length is going to give you the number of characters. So if I include a space, length is 6. If I don't include a space, length is 5. So one more thing that you can do is you can do list comprehension over strings. So you can loop over for every character in planet, print the character and add a exclamation mark and a space. So here you see there is a space for each of them. So yeah, that's also something that you can do. So a major way in which strings differ from lists is that they are immutable. So you cannot do something like this. So you cannot assign a value to a given index in a string. So this is going to give you an error. Like string object doesn't support item assignment. Pretty straightforward, right? Now strings have a lot of different functions. We have already seen them. So let's do help str. And here you have a lot of different functions: caseful, capitalize, encode, ends with, starts with, format, index, whatnot, is lower, is title, is space. So you have all these different kinds of functions. You can go through them, read about them. So some of the few are like dot upper. So if I write Pluto is a planet as a string, and it's in variable claim, I can do claim dot upper, and it's going to convert everything to uppercase. Similarly, I can do claim dot lower, and everything becomes lowercase. So searching for the first index of substring. So substring is like something inside a string. So here I have plan here, right? So if I do claim.index plan, it's going to give me 11. Why 11? Because 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and 11. So it starts at 11th character. So let's see what happens if I do, if I convert it to lowercase. So, and I search for P instead of plan. So it gives me 0. So this is the first index, so it doesn't care about anything after that. It will give you the first index of the substring. So now I have another function dot starts with. So what does the string start with? So does the string start with the variable planet? So let me make it uppercase again, and then it gives me true. So why? Because what do we have in planet? Planet is Pluto. So it's case sensitive matching. If the case doesn't match, it's going to give you false. So if I write planet equal to Pluto, and then it's dot start with is true, but if I write small p, then dot start with is false, because here it's written in the first letter is uppercase. I can also do, you don't have to do the whole word, you only need the first characters. So it starts blue, right? So this sentence starts with blue. So that's start with, and similarly you have ends with. So it doesn't end with a dwarf planet, but it ends with planet. Planet, and then there is an exclamation mark. So I can just add an exclamation mark, and then this is true. But this is not true. So it doesn't end with planet, it ends with planet and exclamation mark. And if I add space here, everything changes again. So it doesn't end with exclamation mark anymore, it ends with a space. So this is something you have to keep in mind. Okay, now how to convert strings to a list of words, let's say. So if I write, let's write the same thing, claim. Okay, Pluto is a planet. Then I apply the function dot split. And when you don't specify inside dot split, it's going to split by white spaces, and it's going to keep each word in a list. So when you want to extract the words, you can just do dot split, and then words, you have a list of different words in a given string. But you can also split by any character you want. So here we are splitting by hyphen. So 1956-0131, and you read in tuple. So it can be tuple, it can be a list. So here you have year, month, and day. variables, and these will consist of 1956, 01, and 31. Let's run it. So if I print year, 56, month, and one thing you should note that these are strings, even though they're numbers, they are strings. Now comes the join. So you can just do something, some character dot join, and then a list of strings. So if you do it like this, you have added a slash after everything in this list. So let me just take this one and right here. Here I have 1956, 01, and 31. And when you do code and some character dot join, you are converting it like this. So it can be anything. I can add 3 hyphens. So it will be joined by 3 hyphens, month, day, and year. And it can also be an alphabet or anything, any character, you know. So 01, AA, 31, AA, 1956. I can also add some spaces if I want to. So here it says we can put Unicode characters right to our string literals. So here what's happening is it's a join function, and here you have a space, in between you have a clap emoji, and here you have a list comprehension. So you're going through each and every word in words, and you're making everything uppercase. So what will the end result be? So our words are Pluto is a planet. So in the second step, what we are doing, we are making each and every word uppercase, and then we are joining them using this clap emoji with spaces in the front and in the back. So you get something like this. So if you don't add the space, there won't be any space. So that's it. Okay, now we have dot format. So planet here, what was planet? Planet is 2. So let's change planet to Pluto. And now we are taking this string and we are adding another string to it. So that's possible. It just appends. So it's like appending in a list. Pluto, and then we added comma, we miss you. Okay, since we didn't add any space here, it has not added any space before the comma. But if I just add here, there will be a space before the comma. There shouldn't be. So if you want to throw any non-string objects, we have to be careful to call str on them first. So here they have defined a position, which is number. It's an int. And now they are trying to add the word Pluto, which is the value of planet, and then here they are adding string 9, sorry, the integer 9, and that's not possible. This is going to throw an error. So it won't be able to concatenate, so it can only concatenate string to string. But there's a very easy way to convert the int to string, and that's just to use this str function. So here we convert the integer to a string. Okay. Now, yeah, there is dot format. Dot format is very useful. So what you do is you write inside the string, you have some placeholders represented by curly brackets, and then you can do, so let's say this is my string s, and what I can do is I can fill these placeholders by passing by saying s.format planet and position. So planet will go to the first one and position will go to the second placeholder. So if I do like this, it's going to like fill in the blanks if I run this. Or you can also just add it here like it was originally. So it's like fill in the blanks. So this goes to the first blank, this goes to the second blank. Okay, yeah, now there are many different other things. that you can do with dot format, or like inside these placeholders, like if you add colon point 2, it's going to 2 decimal points, going to display only the first 2 decimal points. Then this represents 3 decimal points, and here you can separate with commas. So let's see. So here you see 1.3e plus 22 kilograms. So the Pluto is the planet. Pluto mass is represented by this, which becomes this number. Then here it's converting to percentage, and here it's just separating this number by commas. It's pretty useful, quite readable. You can also specify which index of format you want to use in the string. So if you write 0 inside the curly braces, or 1, so 0 will be filled by the first element of dot format, and 1 will be filled by the second element of dot format. So here you can repeat them if you want to. So now you don't have to, if you don't do this, you have to write 4 different arguments to dot format. Yeah, so it gives you an error, but if you write the index, you don't get the error anymore. This is very interesting. One more thing that I would like to mention here is there is something called f string. So you start with f, and then you say, okay, let's go back to this example here, the position one. So I will take the same example and show you how f strings work. So now this was the old one, and here I can write f, and inside that curly braces like before, but inside the curly braces I can just write the variable planet, and then I can add rest of the things. Planet, and then comma. You will always be the position th planet to me. So if I do it like this, so now you don't need to care about changing int to strings, and it's going to do it on its own. And this is like the most preferred way of formatting strings these days. So I hope you will use this. And it's much easier than dot format, and it's also very readable. So inside the braces, you specify the variable, and it's going to take care of the conversion if it's needed. Other thing that we should move to is, so yeah, here also it says that you could probably write a short book just on string.format. So I'll stop here. Okay, so yeah, there's a lot of things to learn in dot format and f string. So this is called f string, and this is probably very easy, easier than dot format. Now you have dictionaries. So dictionaries are built-in data structure for mapping keys to values. So it's like a dictionary. So you wrote, it's represented by these curly braces, and inside that you have a key, and every key is assigned a value. So you have a key and then a value, key and then a value. So how to access this? So if I declare the dictionary numbers, and when I say numbers, and then since it's a string here, I say 1, it will print me 1 digit, the int. And I can also add a new key to the dictionary. So 11 is 11, and when I print the dictionary, it has a new element inside it. So this is how you can assign a new add a new key to the dictionary, or you can also reassign the value of a given key. So since one already exists in the dictionary and you say Pluto, then the value of one becomes Pluto. So now if you print numbers 1, sorry about that. And it will be Pluto. Okay. So Python has dictionary comprehensions. It's very similar to list comprehensions. Let's say you have a list, and this is a list of planets, and planet to initial. So what we are doing here is we are looping through each and every planet inside the list planets. And for each planet, we are saying the key is the planet and the value is the first character of the planet. So now you have created a dictionary, planet to initial. So Mercury is represented by M, Venus is represented by V, and so on. Similarly, you can also find if a key exists in a given dictionary. So using the in keyword. So here I say Saturn in planet to initial, it exists, so it returns true. And if something doesn't exist, it will return false. A for loop over a dictionary will loop over its keys. So if you say for K in planet to initial, if you print K, it's going to give you the keys. And if you want to extract the value, you say planet to initial and then K. It's giving you the value. So now let's go back to what we had originally. Let's convert it to F string. So to convert it to F string, I will just add a F here and take the K, put it here, and take numbers K. I'm not using numbers, I'm using planets to initial, so I will just change that, remove dot format. Now you say, see, like equal to is printed for each item in the loop. So Mercury equal to M, Venus equal to V, and so on. So now what we're doing, get all the initials, sort them alphabetically, and put them in a space separated string. So to get all the initials is like getting all the values. So planet to initial, like this initial, this initial, this initial. So you can just do dot values, and you can then use sorted to sort them. So if you print this, let me hide this. So first of all, it extracted all the values. So you can also print this if you want. It gives you all the values, and you can also get the keys using dot keys. Okay, so now you get the keys and you do values, you get all the values. And then you can use sorted on this to just sort them, and then you join each of them by a space. So you get like one single string out of a list of values. You can also iterate over dot items. So you can say for key, comma value in any dictionary dot items. And here now you can print key, comma value. Okay, so this is also one way, and that's what is written here. Let me convert it to F string again and remove this one, and let's see what this loop is doing. Here we add F. That's very important. So Mercury begins with M, Venus begins with V. So here you see like this is justified on the right hand side. and this is justified on the left hand side. So this is what this new function is doing. You probably won't need it very often, but yeah, now you get the idea that you can loop over the keys and values in a given dictionary using .items, dictionary.items. Okay, our dictionary is also huge and something that you have to study on your own. There's a lot of things here, and you can also go through the documentation. So one more thing that I would want to show you is planets to initial. Okay, and now if I create a new dictionary, let's say n, and here I add a new planet, new initial. Okay, and then if I do planets to initial dot update n, and then I print planets to initial again, it adds a new key. So if I have something else here, something and s, so sorry, it's in a colon, and then I update this, so it adds the new dictionary to the old one, and this is in place, so it doesn't return anything. So you just do dictionary.update new dictionary. So this is also one of the things that you should know about. And I think that's all about strings and dictionaries, and we can now go to the exercise. Okay, so in the exercise, they start with string lightning round to warm up. So for each of the 5 strings below, predict the what len would return. Okay, so if there is nothing inside the quotes, the length is 0. There are no characters. So that is correct. Now here we have 1 character, 2 character, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. So it should be 7, right? So keep in mind that Python includes spaces and punctuation when counting string length. Great. So this is what you should remember. Now in the next one, we have escape character. So one thing, if you count the number of characters, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So if you do 8, it's not going to be correct. But if you do 7, it's going to be correct, because even though we use a different syntax to create it, the string C is identical to B, and backslash is escape character and it's not counted. It doesn't contribute to the length of the string. So this is what you have to remember. Here we define string in a different way, but it has 3 characters inside it, so it should be 3. /n, this should be 1 character. Okay, the new line is a single character. Now we come to one more thing that we can check here is what is tab. So if I write /t, how many characters should it be? So let's check. 1 character. So tab is also 1 character. So there is a saying that data scientists spend 80% of the time cleaning the data and 20% of the time complaining about cleaning the data. So now they want you to write a function to help clean US zip codes. Given a string, it should return whether or not the string represents a valid zip code. So valid zip code consists of is any string consisting of exactly 5 digits. Okay. So it says str has a method that will be useful. So there are many different ways of doing this. So one of the way would be to, okay, let's start with a different method first. So if I say if len of zip underscore code is 5, return true. else, or just return in the end, return false. So now the problem here is, if my zip code consists of alphabets, it's not a valid zip code. So it has to be digit. Okay, so now I say, okay, if len of zip code equal to 5, return true, else false. So this is not going to be correct. So what you have to do is, if you take a look at, if you do help str, I will just tell you here, and zip code dot, let's see, help str. Now it will tell you, you have to look at is digit. So return true if the string is a digit string, otherwise return false. That's what you have to use. You can just use it directly. If the length of zip code is 5 and zip code dot is digit, which means zip code dot is digit is true, so you don't have to write that. And this one, then return true, else return false. And this is a very simple way of doing it. What you can also do is, you can loop over each and every character inside zip code and check if it's a digit or not. But that would be a very lengthy way of doing things. So now, in the next exercise, a researcher has gathered thousands of news articles, but she wants to focus her attention on articles using a specific word. Okay, complete the function below to help her filter her list of articles. Do not include documents where keyword string shows up only as a part of a larger word. So we saw planets start with plan, so we don't have to include those documents. For example, if she were looking for the keyword closed, you should not include the string enclosed. Yeah, so it should not be substring. She doesn't want you to distinguish uppercase from lowercase. So uppercase and lowercase both are same. So in these cases, we usually just convert everything into lowercase. So the phrase close the case would be included when the keyword is closed. So now here it's like they start with small c, but here it's capital C. Do not let periods or comma affect what is matched. It is closed would be included when the keyword is closed. Wow, that's a lot of things. Okay, so you have a list of documents that looks like this. So a list of huge strings. And now you have to search for keyword in those strings. So how will you do that? Word search, doc list, casino, and it returns 0 because casino exists in the first one. It doesn't exist in any other string. Okay, so let's try to do this. We will, since we have to return a string, a list of indices, we create a empty list. So indices is nothing. So now we will fill this up, and we go through each and every document inside the doc list. For doc, in doc underscore list. Okay, now here we have to check a few things. We will convert the doc to doc dot lower. We will convert it to lowercase. So now the document has been converted to lowercase. One more thing that we will do here is we will also convert the keyword to lowercase. So keyword equal to keyword dot lower. Okay. So the document has been converted to lowercase. One thing that we have to do is to split. One thing that we have to do now is split by spaces to remove the words. So you can split by a single space, or you just don't specify any argument and it's going to split by all kinds of white spaces, including new lines and tabs and all weird white spaces. But before that, you also need to take care of commas and periods and commas. So like this dot here. So there's a very cool function in strings, when you do help strings, there is dot replace. So I will do doc dot replace and doc equal to doc dot replace. And here I can specify what I want to replace and what I want to replace it with. So I just want to replace dots with nothing, just remove them. And then I can also do another replacement for comma. Okay, I have removed dot and comma. I have converted the string to lower. Now I can create a new variable called doc words, and that will be doc dot split. And then I say if keyword in doc underscore words indices dot append some index. So now one more thing that we have to do here is we initialize a counter that starts from 0, and here in the end counter is increased by 1. So docs dot indices dot append counter. Now this should be the correct answer, but it's not. So let's see what's happening here. Got return value of none. Oh, obviously we didn't return it. We have to return it. Return indices, and now it's correct. So one thing you notice here is I have some kind of counter variable that's counting how many samples we have already seen. So instead of that, what I can do is I just remove counter, and here I use enumerate. Now if you use enumerate, it's going to give you index. So now counter you don't have to initialize, that's the counter. So in the first iteration it is 0, second iteration it is 1, and so on till it reaches the end of the list. So very useful, enumerate, remember that. I hope you understood this. If there are any doubts, let me know in the comments. And now we go to the next one. Seems like a big exercise, this one. So now the researcher wants to supply multiple keywords to search for. Complete the function below to help her. You're encouraged to use word search function you just wrote when implementing this function. Okay. Reusing code in this way makes your programs more robust and readable and saves typing, obviously. So now they want to search for multiple words. So you have a list of documents, you have a list of keywords, and you can reuse this function, which is word search. And that takes a list of documents and one keyword. Okay, so how do we start here? What do we have to return? So it should return a dictionary of keywords and the indices, right? So let's initialize a dictionary. Keyword locations, and this time we initialize an empty dictionary. So you can just have curly braces or you can write dict. Okay. Now my previous function is giving me the locations for one single keyword. So I will do for keyword in keywords indices is word search, doc list, and the keyword. And now you say, okay, keyword locations, it's a dictionary, so we add values to it. The value is this particular keyword in the loop equal to indices. So yeah, you see, like in dictionary, the values don't need to be string or numbers all the time. They can also be list. They can also be another dictionary. You can make it as complicated as you want. And then I return keyword locations, and that should be correct. And yeah, it is. So yeah, I hope this is understandable. We are just reusing functions that we have created in the previous question, And that's it for today. Tomorrow is going to be the last day of Python, and after that you get certificate for Python. So I hope to see you tomorrow. And till then, if you like this video, do like, do subscribe, tell your friends about it, do share it. Thank you very much. Goodbye.